Okay, let's have a quick run through on this IGCSE environmental management classified question. So we're just going to be looking at chapter 1 and rock mineral and the exploitation. I'll try and cover this chapter wise classified question between now and before on the 30th of of September, where you guys will be writing your paper 1 exam. So let's have a quick run through of chapter 1. Hopefully tomorrow I'll upload chapter 2. Now, many minerals are in short supply and new mineral deposits need to be found. Now, one method of exploration for finding new minerals. So one method for finding new mineral deposit is using photograph taken from the air, area photograph. Now, suggest how photograph taken from the air might help to locate mineral deposit. First, so photograph will help will help to assess areas that are inaccessible, to assess inaccessible locations. Photographs from air also covers a large area. Find out that photographs also help to photographs also help to detect rocks of different colors. So it can be, so from it you can actually tell which type of mineral is found. Now the B part is describe one other method using exploration for finding minerals. One other method we have is geophysics. We can have prospecting. And prospecting has to do with when you have to observe rock surface or soil to know if minerals are available. Then we have things like geochemistry. These are the other methods. Now, they said the bar chart shows estimate of when some metals are predicted to run out. Now, the estimates were made in 2010. Okay, identify which metal is predicted to run out first. So this is the estimate. I think the first one here should be antimony. We run out first because it will run out by year 2020. So it has only 10 years before it run out. So antimony. Now they say identify the metals. Now it's not just one, they are metals that are predicted to still be available after 2030. So this is 2030. The ones that will still be available are copper and gold. Gold is above 2030. So all you need to do is you come down and you write copper and gold. That's all. You've gotten your 5 marks. Now they say the photograph shows an example of surface mining. State 2 advantages and 2 disadvantages of surface mining compared with subsurface mining. Advantages of surface mining is it is cheap. Another second advantage, it is safer to use, but disadvantages, surface mining creates noise pollution. Remember, one of the things, you have to clear the vegetation, so it leads to habitat destruction. So land that should be used for farming can now be used for mining, and habitat will be destroyed, so which will eventually lead to which will also affect the food chain and lead to reduction in biodiversity. Let me check the mark scheme if there are other points we can add. Let me see. Okay, they said it is easy to assess. It is advantages of this is that it's easy to access, cheaper, less risk, and is quicker. Disadvantage, it causes noise, pollution, air pollution, reduce biodiversity, which from the deforestation, destroy habitat, large waste can also be a disadvantage. Okay, let's move. Now they said rocks are classified into three main types. Yeah, we have they give us examples here and they want us to complete the table by identify the type of rocks. I know granite is an igneous rock. Granite is an igneous rock. Basalt is an igneous rock. Limestone is a sedimentary rock. Shale is a sedimentary rock. I think sandstone is also a sedimentary rock. The only one here is slate. It's a metamorphic rock. Okay, now describe how metamorphic rocks are formed. And first, they are referred to as changed rock. They are formed when pre-existing rock are exposed to heat and pressure. So they are formed when pre-existing rocks are exposed to heat from the earth, majorly come from the earth mantle, and pressure. This will now change the crystal structure of the rock. Let me see if I'm on track. Okay, created from pre-existing rock, we got that, heat and pressure, blah blah blah, rock structure changes, we got the full mark. So that's it. Next we have a 6-mark question here. First, when you want to answer this question, what the first thing you need to remember is your PEEL. That's you give your point, because you bring in your you explain your point, then you bring in evidence, then you link it up. Now, while answering this question, you should always use that. Try as much as you can to give at least 3 points that you can explain with evidence from this argument, and you link them up to this argument. And when doing that, make sure you should always let's say answer by taking both argument into consideration. Now here they said the two students, we are talking about the extraction of mineral. And the first student, now let's say this is the first and this is the second student. The first student said the extraction of mineral is necessary as it will help the economy of a country. Now this is more important than preserving the environment. That's his argument. Now, I disagree. He said preserving the environment is far more important than obtaining minerals. Now, the first thing you need to look at here is they are looking at both the positive and negative impact of mineral extraction. So, they are looking at impact of mineral extraction in its entirety. So, the first thing you need to do is, based on this first person, you should come up with points that will back him up. And one of those points is, if there is for a country, help the country economy, it can be in terms of help in terms of foreign exchange. There can be, so foreign exchange, it can bring in more money to the economy, more money. It can creates jobs, and so more money means the money can be used to build infrastructures. Another thing you can do is with the money, You can also buy, so it create jobs, so people have, it will help to improve the living standard of people, so they can now buy more food. Now, I'm looking at it from that aspect, from the first person. Possibly this is what he considered before making those statements. But the second person now said it's better preserving the environment than obtaining minerals. Now, why here? You now look at the negative impact of mineral extraction on the environment. It causes noise pollution. Things like fossil fuel can lead to climate change and global warming. And global warming, it can lead to air pollution. Now you can now look at this guy can now argue out that after the extraction he can do land reclamation using this, the money derived from this, also to reclaim the land. Now that reclamation aspect depends on which argument you want to portray more. Then you can come up when you are doing your conclusion. So if I'm the one answering this question now, I can say by um, extraction, I'll start with my paragraph. Extraction of minerals have both positive and negative effect. Now, in extraction, um, the country will benefit. The country will benefit through money uh, derived from selling these minerals. From selling the minerals, it will also, see now I'm linking it now, it will also create jobs for the locals, which will eventually improve their living standard, full stop. Now you can also say money derived can also be used in infrastructural development by the country. Such as, I'm giving an example, such as roads and amenities like hospitals and schools. However, the extraction also affects the environment. Through air pollution, noise pollution, destruction of vegetation, that can be used for farming. To provide food. Then, this also leads to loss, habitat loss, reduction in biodiversity, which will now eventually, which will reduction in biodiversity, which can affect the food chain. In conclusion, this negative impact, this mining site can be reclaimed after the mining process through having things like making it a landfill site, convert it to a golf course, um, bioremediation. You leave it that way, you get your full mark. So you see, like coming back to, you see, this is how they expect. There's a level of response indicate candidates may agree that the extraction is necessary for the economy, covering need for income to feed, clothes, blah 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 blah. Minerals are needed for many purposes. Candidate may identify that minerals are important for foreign exchange, which is important. Some candidate will consider mining may have more relative importance to the economy of LEDCs. We didn't mention LEDCs, but look at a candidate may suggest that there is plenty in the countryside, but being mined, blah blah blah, maybe short supply. They might discuss restoring, which we discuss land reclamation of an area, so more efficient use and recycling. We did not mention recycling, but we mentioned method of restoring land. Now, candidate may agree that preservation is important. The environmental factor may include deforestation, which we mentioned, risk of extinction, destruction of food web, which we mentioned. Now, so in order for you to get your 6 mark, if you concentrate only on one response, you won't get it. You must concentrate on the two response together. And you see, it's a descriptive response, well argued, covering and linking both viewpoints in the debate. So we look at both viewpoint. If you don't look at both viewpoint when answering this question, it will be difficult for you to have a level 3 answer. Okay. Now, they say the photograph shows a location where marble is being extracted. Now, name the method of extraction shown. This is surface mining. Now, they said state 2 strategies for the sustainable use of rocks. Legislation. You can have efficient method of extraction. You can have things like efficient use of rocks. You can have things like the recycling of rocks and minerals. Now, they said suggest 3 benefits of mineral extraction for the economy. Benefit. I've stated it when explaining that stuff. It provides job, means of foreign exchange, improve the living standard. Money derived can be used for infrastructural development and the rest. So just the importance of minerals. So let's see if we are on track also. Increase efficiency of extraction, efficiency of use, recycling legislation, use alternative. So you can have alternative as a method of sustainability. So you see, importance of raw material, you see, more employment, improve, okay, increase export, so help international trade. So the money derived can be used for improvement of facilities and infrastructure. It helps to supply raw material and for industries, and also increase the wealth and living standard of the people. So that's it. You provide job which will increase the living standard of the people, and the money derived can be used for infrastructural development. You should know how to link these things. Now the photograph shows an open cast mine used to extract copper in Zambia. Now describe how copper ore has been mined. If it is open cast, so what they are asking you, the copper is an open cast, so what they are asking you is to describe surface mining. So first thing is vegetation. Vegetation is cleared. Once vegetation is cleared, the next thing is you use explosives to break the the rocks. Then use diggers to carry the rocks into trucks for transporting to the processing site. That's it. Now describe the environmental impact of this mine. This mine, surface mining, they are just asking you for the impact of surface mining on the environment. One of the major impacts is it can cause noise pollution. Another environmental impact is that you clear the vegetation, so habitat loss. So this can lead to loss of biodiversity because most organisms will now come extinct. This can also affect the food chain. Now waste from waste from this mining can lead to air pollution from waste. Now they say coal is an important fuel used for heat and electricity generation. The photograph shows a mine where coal is being extracted. Identify the type of mining. Show this is still surface mining. Let me see something. Advantage: natural vegetation destroyed. Okay, disadvantage: loss of habitat, air pollution. It can cause water pollution, noise from machines. So let's see. I wrote surface mining there. So open cast is an example of surface mining. So most of the times, if you write surface mining in the alternative response, they will still mark it for you. So let's see. They said describe how coal is extracted from the mine. It's the same thing as describe surface mining. The overburden is removed, the vegetation is cleared, explosive is used, then machineries or diggers and the rest are used to pack the rocks into tractors and machineries which will now transport it to the processing site. That's the same thing. So this is same as describing surface mining we've done above. Now, they said I can't pronounce this word. Mine in China is one of the largest coal mines in the world. They said calculate the year when the coal will have been extracted if there is no change in annual output. Now they say area covered is this, development cost is this, first coal production in 2008. Now, annual output in a year is 20 million tons. Estimated reserve in 2008 is this. So calculate the year in 2008. So you just need to do 1.5 annual output is this. So in a year, they have this. So 1.5 billion divided by 20, it will give you the year it will take for it to run out. Then you add it to 2008, you get your answer. So let's see. You see, 1.5 million tons divided by 20 million tons is 75 years. You add it to 2008 to give you your answer. Describe three uses the mine. Three, describe three uses for this mine after coal extraction. We stated it. So you can use it for uh, as a landfill site. You can convert it to a golf course. You can convert it to an estate. You can convert it to a game reserve. You can even convert it to a lake. Let me see others that can. Okay, recreation, game reserve, nature reserve, agriculture, lake for fishing, landfill. Get your answer. Simple. Now, they say environmentalists are concerned about the use of coal. Some countries continue to use coal in large quantities. Suggest reasons why these countries are not changing to other fossil fuel sources. Uh, you don't change to what you don't have. So it is not available. It is not available, so they are not willing to change to other sources. Now, another reason might be the cost of extraction. Another reason is the country might prefer using renewable energy, because coal is not renewable and can destroy the environment. So they want renewable source of energy, and the country also have, so the country have alternative source. Um, Coal is a non-renewable energy. Name one other renewable. Uh, Coal is a non-renewable energy source. Name one other non-renewable. Coal, oil, natural gas. You can also have nuclear energy. That's question. Abundant coal reserve locally, lack of other resources, other sources. Technology is expensive, coal extraction is expensive, large economic benefit, exports from coal industries. Do not think pollution is a do not take pollution as a priority. So so pollution is not a priority for them, so they still extract. Now, this is in 2015. A new tungsten mine was opened in the United Kingdom. Tungsten is a metal used in many industries. Now, before the mine is opened, the United Kingdom imported the majority of the tungsten from overseas. Now, the new mine will be the fourth biggest tungsten mine in the world. The tungsten is found very close to the surface, so surface mining will be used. Now, there is an increase world demand for tungsten, and the new mine created approximately this job, and the photograph showed the type of mining. So obviously it will be open cast or open pit, open cast, open pit, surface mining. They will give you a mark. Explain why this type of mining is suitable. Because the mineral is close to the surface. Mineral is close to the surface. Now, they say describe three impact of this mine on the local area. Impact here can be both positive and negative impact. So one is it will provide job, it will improve the standard of living of the locals. So you can see here from this statement, it provides 2,000 jobs. Uh, there is high demand, so it will help to increase the foreign exchange of the country and improve the living standard of the locals, because when job is provided and the money derived, so it can also, let's say, things, the negative impact can cause noise, pollution, and the rest. So you see loss of habitat, loss of biodiversity, loss of farmland, loss of homes, noise pollution. They have to look at management of waste, reduction in tourism, but those are negative impacts. So you see these are negative. Why? You see employment opportunity, improvement in facility and infrastructure, improvement of the local economy are positive impact. So when you hear impact in this exam, is both, it can be both negative, so it's both the negative and the positive. um, the next question here is, describe another recycling, describe another way in which rock can be used sustainably outside recycling. Legislations. Another way it can be used, increase efficiency of extraction, increase efficiency of use. Those will also go get alternative source. Now, they said a student read an article in a scientific journal about e-waste. Now, e-waste consists of electrical and electronic equipment and their component, which have been thrown away rather than being reused. Now, e-waste is difficult to manage because it is made up of many different components, many of which are toxic. Typical toxins include heavy metals such as mercury, chromium, and lead, acidic gases from burning plastic, and CFCs from refrigeration unit. These toxins can have negative environmental and health effects. Some e-waste contain useful metals such as tungsten, gold, silver, iron, aluminum, and copper. Some countries take uh, back system take back system where consumers can safely recycle their e-waste and even have their e-waste collected from their homes. However, most e-waste is incinerated, buried as landfill, or dumped illegally. Describe what is meant by e-waste. From here, e-waste consists of electrical and electronic equipment and their components which have been thrown away rather than being reused. That you just recopy this, you recopy and put it here for your 1 mark. Suggest and explain two negative effects of e-waste. You come back here. Typical toxins include heavy metals such as mercury, so it contains typical toxins, uh, and lead, acidic gases, and burning, blah blah blah. These toxins can have negative impact on the environment and human health. So it contains toxins which release acidic gas that can cause acid rain, and this has effect on human health. You answer that one. So it's like a comprehension question. Now, suggest how countries can reduce the negative impact of e-waste. So look at use alternative source. Instead of using CFCs, there are CFCs here. I think use alternative source of cooling agent for refrigeration instead of using CFCs. So let's see. CFCs lead to ozone depletion. Burning plastic, acidic gas, blah 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 blah. Now, heavy metals and mercury can lead to bioaccumulation, affect human health, extraction. So, take back system, recycle the e-waste, reuse e-waste collected from homes. You come with legislation and fines should be implemented here in curbing the negative effect of using e-waste. Now, this article also contains some of the data about e-waste. Yeah. There's still a lot of questions. Okay, I'm almost done with chapter 1. Let me just finish this. Now, the article also contains some data about e-waste. Now, the total global e-waste generated in 2014 was this million tons, and this in 2018. Now, in 2014, e-waste contained this lamp, this screen, blah 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 blah. Now they say calculate the percentage increase of e-waste from 2014 to 2016. So it's usually new minus old over, is it new minus old over old times 100 over 1. So the new is the recent year, which is 2018. This is 50 minus 41.9 over 41.9 times 100. That will give you your answer. So you see 8.1 divided by 49 times 100, which will give you 19.3%. So lastly, we have another question here. They said the student want to summarize the data in the article to show the type of equipment e-waste contain. Record your data in a suitable table. 3 marks. This is wonderful. So let me clean this. So I'll use this space here for this table. To do this is simple. They said blah 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 blah. E-waste contained are these lamps, this screen, this. So you can just put e-waste amount is the amount amount contained per MT. Draw your table. The first thing here is lamps. Lamp is 1.0. The next one is screens, is 6.3. Remember, I'm not putting the MT because I've put per MT here. The next one is small electronic equipment. Small electronic equipment. Please, when answering the question, do not abbreviate. It's 12.8. So that's how you fill them up. That's all. You get the full mark there. Now they said the bar chart shows the average amount of e-waste produced per person for some count in 2014. It also shows the population of these countries in 2014. So population in millions, these are the countries, production of e-waste. Now the first question is, use the key to complete the bar for Singapore to show 19.6 kg per person of e-waste produced in 2014. Production of e-waste per person in 2014 for this country, because it's 19.6. So you come back, is here. So 19.6, this is 18, and each is true. So in between here is true. So you should know that that means this is 18. If this is 18 point, this should be 19. So 19.5 will be somewhere here. So your 19.5 will be somewhere here. So you just quickly plot it downwards to Singapore. Then next is use the bar to determine the country which produced the most e-waste. Country with the most e-waste is most e-waste per person. You just most e-waste per, let me see, most e-waste. Okay, I feel the main answer is USA, and the major reason is because it has a higher population per million, and the waste produced it's still high when the population is also very high. Like this, the population is small, but the waste produced is high. So I think go for USA. So let's see. USA highest value of e-waste times population we give you. So produce the highest value of e-waste. And so the e-waste produced times the population. So that's why USA should be chosen. Okay, so I'm done with chapter 1. So when next we're going to meet, I'll be moving to chapter 2. Hopefully I'll upload that tomorrow. So please study, prepare for your exam. If you have any question, you are always free. You can ask me in the comment section.